Okay, today we're going to show you how to take a Pedego trail tracker, very cool bike, and turn it into something super cool, which is, I think, the ultimate urban commute vehicle. In fact, it's so cool, we don't call it the trail tracker. No, we call it the Trey tracker because this man did it. Trey, we're here at Pedego Dana Point. He's going to tell us what he put on this thing to make it super cool. I ride this thing like 13, 14 miles a day. It's very comfortable and it's very fast. All right, so Trey, let's talk about it. Where would you like to start? The wheels, maybe, huh?
Well, yeah, the wheels, the difference in the wheels here is about 6 pounds. This is a single wall lightened rim. This is your double wall heavy duty stock rim.
6 pounds times 2 makes 12 pounds worth of difference on the bike, and that's a huge difference. It really is.
Rolling resistance and unsprung weight is the key.
Yeah, totally. Now, those are Surly wheels, and you've also, I think those tires are worth talking about too, V-rubber, because they really helped me.
These are a V-rubber tire. This is the street platform.
Yep.
We were running into the compound being too soft for street use.
Yeah.
So we went with a less aggressive tread for the street, and it really dissipates the heat, and you can get the mileage that you're going to need for commuting.
Yep. Yeah, and I had gone through 3 sets of tires in a very short period of time, so these tires have worked really, really well for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 months, which is amazing for me. Now, you'll notice here on the regular trail tracker, which is a cool bike, but there is no such thing as a front suspension. In fact, there's no such thing as a rear suspension except for this little doohickey, which, I don't know, doesn't do anything for me at all. I can't make anything happen there. Anyway, in terms of comfort, it was not the best, right? There's a lot of good things. Comfort was not one of them. So you've done some stuff with the suspension. Let's talk about that in the front end first.
This is a 4-inch wide Reseat Trixie shock. It is primarily a downhill shock. It is one of the only shocks in the North American market for a 4-inch wide tire. Germany has one, but it's 1,200 euro, and you have to ship it over here.
That's like a whole bike.
Yeah, exactly. So first and foremost, this bike, you take the shock out with the front and then this seat post right here. This is the long travel Cane Creek Thud Buster. What this does
What is it? It's a Thud Buster?
Thud Buster.
I can vouch for that, yeah.
Exactly. So instead of traveling the energy up and down, it travels it front and back.
Yep.
So you don't lose the stroke in between your pedal.
Totally important.
So from here, it's not an up and down, it's a front and back. And it really takes out all of the road vibration that you feel.
I can vouch for that. It definitely does. Now, the other thing, of course, it's important for a guy to have the super duper take care of yourself seat right there with the little groove in the middle, right?
The groove is for separation, and it's key in the long-term ride. Definitely key.
You don't want to be,
not at all.
You don't want to do that, no.
And the cushion between this is about a 2.5-inch cushion right here.
Yep.
So even with a rigid seat post, this is going to give you support right here.
Where you need it.
Exactly.
Right. Now, I noticed when I was riding this, I mean, the seat was okay, but I rode it for a couple of weeks, and it was like, man, you could definitely start to feel some fatigue after about an hour. And my ride's, 45 minutes to an hour, so it makes a difference. Okay, you can see on the back here, we also have a matching Surly wheel with the same kind of tire on here on the back, too.
Now, this rim is a little bit wider than the front rim.
Yes.
It is, the way that it's built is more structurally rigid. So with the rear wheel, we wanted to go with a light as possible, but also as strong as possible. So this rim gives you the best of both worlds. It's the weight difference is in grams, so it's not that much of a difference compared to what we're dealing with on the dual band
6 pound, massive, heavy duty thing. Now, I don't know what Pedego was trying to design. I mean, was this really supposed to be an off-road bike? Was that what they were thinking, or more of a beach bike or an ice bike kind of maybe?
It's more for getting out into soft terrain to where your normal bike with a 2-inch wide tire is not going to be able to go. This bike isn't for taking a 20-foot drop off-road or even getting it a foot off the ground.
No,
it's a heavy bike. It's meant to stay in contact. But while it stays in contact, it's very capable. I have taken these bikes on some single track. As long as I don't get the rear wheel off the ground, I can get the front wheel off the ground as much as I want, but keep the rear wheel planted and you'll be safe.
I find this to be a great commuting vehicle, much more so than a regular sort of, a normal Pedego, which I tried. I just find this to be so much fun, and it just feels so good. I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'3", so the frame size is right for me. You guys also put in a new post, which is important for me. There's a couple other things, all told together, I'd say that the stuff you added probably took 15 minutes off my commute, and that's like amazing to me if you think about it. But it's the small stuff, I think, that you don't think about that really makes a difference. Like, look at this. Like, here's the stock pedal. See what happens when you spin that pedal? Okay, that's like you think, okay, no big deal, right? Pedal. Now check out the upgraded pedal from, who makes this thing?
That is a 50/50 pedal.
Look at this. Okay, now you're thinking, what's the big difference? It's a huge difference in just getting the crank around when you're pedaling. Now the gear shift, we haven't talked about that. Let's do that first. Okay, now obviously the Pedego comes with it. It's a single speed bike. You guys have now put this, I'm on my third set of gears. This is the third set we've just installed today. Let's talk about, we have actually a 3-speed transmission on this thing now.
Now this part is probably the most functionally crucial part of the whole bike.
Yep.
The bike in its stock form with the 32 tooth ring gear is very limited as far as being able to pedal the bike in soft or up hills and your top speed.
Yep.
So it's really kind of a middle of the road, which is fine. It's what they were going for. So what we did is I created a 3-speed system for this bike and gave it good, decent components. The Dioro XT components, along with the matching shifter up here.
This made a huge difference, by the way.
It's a trigger shift,
The
so
shifter was huge in terms of performance when you put the new shifter on.
it really is. It's precision. It's like you said, it's the little things. The difference between the stock one that we had on there and this one right here is it's a matter of seconds versus the lag time that it takes to shift. And that's what we ran into issues with the first one, was that
yeah, I actually bent it. Honestly, we replaced every part on this bike, including the frame. I broke the frame. I don't know how that happened, but we broke the frame. But this is our third set of rings. This is our third set of tires. Everything except, interestingly, the motor and the brakes has been replaced. I mean, everything.
And the battery. The batteries.
Well, the batteries, yeah, and that's all working great. The drivetrain assist and the motor seem to be great, and the brakes are working great. But we've pretty much replaced everything, either because we thought it was important to, or just because something broke. But a couple other things that I thought. So the shifting thing has been huge. You got 3 gears. Usually you're only using 2, but having the ability to shift, I don't need more than 3 gears in my commute, and I'll go between sometimes I can average 20 miles an hour, which is awesome, right?
Exactly. So we went from a 32 tooth ring gear to a 48 tooth ring gear. Now, the ability for him to pedal at a high speed, he should be able to pedal this between 28 and 30 miles an hour. So what's nice is you have the e-assist that gets you to 25 miles an hour.
Yep.
And then from there, your body takes over. So you're able to lengthen your longevity as far as what your muscles are able to do, because the bike is helping you there. Not only that, but it's a big bike, so you feel safer riding it.
Yeah, it weighs like 80 pounds probably, I would say. Don't you think?
I think with this, it's probably about 65.
Yeah.
Because we reduced the weight, but we did add weight with the seat and the basket.
Yep.
And then we have a
light.
Night Rider 1800 lumen light.
Yeah, that thing.
Which is about as bright as you could ever want to possibly get.
That is monstrously bright. I feel like I'm blinding people when I come at them with that thing. It is huge. It is very, very bright. Yeah. And that, obviously important. You want to stay alive. That's an important thing. The other important thing is our horn, which is perfect for driving through the area in California we call Leisure World. I think you know what I'm saying. That is an air horn, and basically it's super simple. You just air this thing up right here. It stores air in this little, and this is like, what, 25, 35 bucks? It's like not even expensive, but I mean, I use this all the time. Hello, get out of my way. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's an air sound right here at Pedego Dana Point, available for only $49. Okay, worth it. How much is your life worth, right? So we got a bright light. We have a tail light that works also. And then the other thing I thought that Trey did for me that was really excellent was he fabricated a fender. There is no such thing as a fender for this bike, but he created one out of some really interesting rubber matting that he just happened to have. So I love it.
Yes, this is version 1.0.
I know,
Next
yeah.
weekend I plan to try and go for 2.0.
Well, you know, I sort of appreciate the sort of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome look of this bike. I mean, maybe everybody is not the same as me, but I like it. And, you know, I get a lot of comments on it everywhere I go on it. In fact, people said, "Are you that guy I saw on the road on that big black bike?" I said, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "So that, you know, it's definitely turning some heads, and it gets me to work in 45 minutes. My regular bike used to take an hour and a half."
And how much would you say that you saved since you started commuting?
$20 a day. Every day from my car, it was $20 of gas per day. It was not a very fuel efficient car, but it was $20 of gas, so it can't cost more than $5 to recharge it, right? I mean, you know.
It's actually 5 cents for the recharge.
5 cents to
5
recharge
cents
it?
for the recharge.
Then whatever extra food I'd probably eat.
Exactly.
Anyway, great job. And of course, if you want one of these, all you got to do is contact the great folks here at. Now, do you want this one? I don't think so. I think you want this one. But come with your Visa card fully charged, right?
There you go.
Good job. Thanks, Trey.